You've been saving for decades. Your 401k balance looks solid. You've paid off debt. Maybe you've even run those online calculators. But here's the problem. You still don't know for sure if you can actually retire in the next 5 years. And that's because most people are using the wrong signals to measure retirement readiness. I'm PJ Gibbs, a certified financial planner, and I help people within 10 years of retirement make confident income, tax, and investment decisions so they can retire without guessing. In today's video, I'm going to show you why having savings doesn't equal readiness, why confidence without clarity is fragile, and most importantly, how to know, not guess, if you can retire in the next 5 years. Here's what we're covering. First, the false signals that make you think you're ready when you're not. Second, what retirement readiness really means. Third, why guessing is dangerous and what it costs you. And finally, at the end, I'll introduce you to a simple assessment that measures the 4 things that actually matter. Let's get into the video. Let's start with the biggest lie you've been told, that a large 401k balance means you're ready to retire. According to recent research from Vanguard and the Federal Reserve, 73% of Americans ages 45 to 59 have retirement accounts, but only 42% say their savings are actually on track. That's a massive disconnect. You can have $500,000 or even $1 million saved and still not be ready, because savings alone doesn't tell you if that money will last 30 years. Here's another false signal: being debt-free. Don't get me wrong, paying off your mortgage is a huge accomplishment, but debt-free doesn't mean retirement ready. What matters is whether your income sources can cover your expenses. If your expenses are $8,000 a month and your Social Security will only cover $3,000, you need to know how you'll bridge that $5,000 gap every single month for decades. Then there's market performance. Maybe your portfolio grew 20% last year and you're feeling confident. But retirement readiness isn't about how your investments performed last year. It's about whether your withdrawal strategy can survive a market crash in year 2 of retirement. That's called sequence of returns risk, and it can destroy even the best laid plans. Finally, let's talk about the 4% rule. This rule says you can withdraw 4% of your portfolio in year 1 and adjust for inflation every year after. The problem? The creator of the 4% rule, William Bengen, updated it to 4.7 in 2024. Meanwhile, Morningstar suggests a more conservative 3.7% withdrawal rate based on current market valuations. Generic rules of thumb don't account for your specific tax situation, your Social Security timing, or your actual spending patterns. They're a starting point, not the finish line. So if savings, debt payoff, and rules of thumb aren't enough, what does retirement readiness actually mean? Let me break it down into 5 real components. First is sustainable income. Can you generate enough income from Social Security, pensions, and portfolio withdrawals to cover your expenses without running out of money? According to the EBRI Retirement Confidence Survey, 67% of workers feel confident about retirement. But confidence without a tested plan is just wishful thinking. Sustainable income means you've stress tested your withdrawal strategy against bad markets, high inflation, and long life expectancy. Second is tax impact. Every dollar you withdraw from your traditional 401k or IRA gets taxed as ordinary income. If you pull out $80,000 a year and 22% goes to taxes, you're left with $62,400, and that's before state taxes. Tax-efficient withdrawal strategies can save you tens of thousands of dollars over a 20-year retirement. That means coordinating when you tap pre-tax accounts, Roth accounts, and taxable brokerage accounts. Third is Social Security timing. When you claim Social Security has a massive impact on your lifetime benefits. If you claim at 62, you accept a 30% reduction compared to your full retirement age. But if you wait until 70, you get an 8% increase for every year you delay past full retirement age. According to recent data, 81% of retirees rely on Social Security. If that's you, this decision alone can make or break your retirement. Fourth is investment alignment. Your portfolio needs to match your retirement timeline and risk tolerance. A 50-year-old with $1 million portfolio invested 100% in stocks might see huge volatility right when they need stability. But someone invested 100% in bonds might not generate enough income to keep pace with inflation. The right allocation balances growth, income, and protection. and it changes as you move through retirement. Fifth is flexibility over time. Retirement spending isn't a straight line. Research shows that retirees spend less as they age. The Center for Retirement Research found that retired households cut spending by about 1.5% every year throughout retirement. But you need to know you have the flexibility to adjust spending if markets drop or if unexpected expenses pop up. Here's the hard truth. Guessing your way through retirement can cost you everything. Let me show you 3 consequences of not having clarity. First is overspending early. Let's say you retire with $800,000 and start withdrawing $50,000 a year. That's over 6% annually. You're feeling good because your portfolio is still growing, but then the market drops 20% in year 3. Your portfolio shrinks to $550,000, and now you're pulling 9% just to maintain your lifestyle. That's a death spiral. Once you start over withdrawing during a down market, it's almost impossible to recover. Second is underspending and unnecessary anxiety. I've seen the opposite happen too. Someone retires with $1.2 million, lives on $40,000 a year because they're terrified of running out, and then passes away at 85 with $1.5 million still in the bank. They sacrificed travel, experiences, and quality of life because they didn't have a plan that gave them permission to spend. According to a study from the National Bureau of Economic Research, 46% of Americans die with virtually the same net worth or more than when they retired. They never gave themselves permission to enjoy what they had saved. Third is panic decisions. When you don't have a tested plan, every market downturn feels like a crisis. You might sell at the bottom out of fear, lock in losses, and destroy your long-term strategy. Or you might delay retirement for another 5 years when you were actually ready 3 years ago. These emotional decisions cost you time, money, and peace of mind. This is where everything comes together. If you're within 10 years of retirement, you need an assessment that measures what actually matters. That's why we created the Retirement Readiness Scorecard, a tool that evaluates 4 critical areas: income clarity, flexibility, tax awareness, and investment alignment. Income clarity means knowing exactly how much money you need every month and where it's coming from. Not just, I think I'll need $6,000 a month, but actual numbers. Social Security pays $2,500, pension pays $1,200, portfolio needs cover $2,300. Can your portfolio sustain that withdrawal rate for 30 years? Flexibility measures your ability to adjust if things go wrong. Can you reduce spending by 10% if the market crashes? Can you pick up part-time work if you have to? Do you have emergency funds outside of your portfolio? According to State Street Global Advisors, 33% of near retirees are already revising their plans for later or partial retirement due to market uncertainty. Flexibility is your safety net. Tax awareness evaluates whether you're optimizing your withdrawal strategy. Are you pulling from the right accounts in the right order? Are you taking advantage of Roth conversions in low-income years? Are you managing your required minimum distributions that might start at age 73? Small tax decisions compound into massive savings or massive losses over a 25-year retirement. Investment alignment ensures your portfolio matches your goals and timeline. If you're retiring in 3 years, you shouldn't be 90% in stocks, but you also shouldn't be 90% in bonds if you need growth to last 30 years. Here's what the scorecard isn't going to do. It's not going to sell you anything. Doesn't sign you up for any commitment, and there's no judgment. It's purely about getting clarity on where you stand today so you can make informed decisions about your future. If you're within 10 years of retirement and want to know, not guess, whether you can retire in the next 5 years, take the Retirement Readiness Scorecard. It'll give you a clear picture of your income clarity, flexibility, tax awareness, and investment alignment. No pressure, no sales pitch, just honest answers. You can access the scorecard at the link in the description below. And if you want more content like this, practical strategies for retirement income, taxes, and planning, subscribe to this channel so you don't miss our next video.